For some time now, and for some strange reason, the West began to turn its back on the ideas of liberty. That is why in this same place in 2024, I stated that the West was in danger as a result of having embraced increasing doses of socialism in its most hypocritical form, which is wokeism. In turn, in 2025, I explained the mental parasites sown by the left in humanity. However, 2026 is the year in which I bring you good news. The world has begun to awaken. The best proof of this is what is happening in the Americas with the rebirth of the ideas of liberty. Therefore, the Americas will be the beacon of light that will once again illuminate the entire West, thereby repaying the civilizational debt with expressions of gratitude towards the foundations in Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Judeo-Christian values.
They claim capitalism is bad because it's individualistic and collectivism is good because it's altruistic towards others. And thus they strive for social justice. But this concept that has become trendy in the developed world recently, in my country, it has been a constant in political discourse for over 80 years. The issue is that social justice is unfair and doesn't contribute to general well-being. On the contrary, it's an inherently unfair idea because it's violent. And the great anvil that appears as a common denominator in the countries and institutions that are failing is the mental virus of woke ideology. This is the great epidemic of our time that must be cured. It is the cancer that must be excised. This ideology has colonized the world's most important institutions.
We want from Denmark for national and international security and to keep our very energetic and dangerous potential enemies at bay is this land on which we're going to build the greatest golden dome ever built. We're building a golden dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements. So other presidents have spent, whether foolishly or not, trillions and trillions of dollars on NATO and gotten absolutely nothing in return. We've never asked for anything. It's always a one-way street. Now they want us to help them with Ukraine. And we say, we're going to. And I'm dealing with President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing with President Zelensky, and I think he wants to make a deal. I'm meeting him today. He might be in the audience right now. But they got to get that war stopped because too many people are dying, needlessly dying. Too many souls are being lost. It's the only reason I'm interested in doing it. But in doing it, I'm helping Europe, I'm helping NATO, and I've until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They called me daddy, right, last time. A very smart man said, he's our daddy. He's running it. I was like running it. I went from running it to being a terrible human being. But now what I'm asking for is a piece of ice, cold and poorly located, that can play a vital role in world peace and world protection. It's a very small ask compared to what we have given them for many, many decades.
Back to Davos. Donald Trump has mocked his French counterpart over his choice of eyewear at the World Economic Forum. Yeah, we had a good laugh about this yesterday. Mr. Macron wearing a pair of aviators during his own speech in Davos because his eyes apparently had a burst blood vessel. So Donald Trump, he certainly hello. Donald Trump questioned his choice of sunnies, though, overnight.
Because basically America was subsidizing every nation in the world. Because presidents allowed them to get away with it, it became very tough. So when I called up Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
This new CNN poll suggests that the Democratic Party has a deeply motivated base and it says an advantage on the ballot ahead of the midterms, despite, however, the dismal impressions of its current leaders in Congress. But the poll shows that Democratic voters are far more motivated than Republicans. Do you think that's true?
You know, I think it's a wake-up call to Republicans. We can't rest on our laurels and just sit here and hope and expect that Republicans are going to keep the majority in Congress and you know, do all that we can to expand a majority in the Senate. We have to do the work. We have to treat this midterm election just as if it's a presidential election, because President Trump may not be on the ballot himself, but his policies certainly are. If we lose this majority, he will be impeached. They will come at this presidency with everything that they've got, using the broad powers of Congress to do so. So we cannot let that happen. I understand, you know, we're fresh off a win. We feel great. You know, we are in the new golden era, but that will very quickly erode if we're not vigilant. So I hope it's a wake-up call, if anything. Even if you don't buy the numbers, use it as a wake-up call.
I want to get to some exciting JD Vance news in a moment, but quickly, I want to get your thoughts on Emmanuel Macron, the French president. He's appeared wearing sunglasses at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, and his office says it's due to a burst blood vessel in his right eye. He's getting trolled so badly for this on the internet. I mean, people are spreading rumours again that it could be his wife Bridget attacking him as that was captured last year. Here he is. He's wearing sunglasses while he's calling for the president to abolish tariffs on European countries.
We do believe that we need more growth, we need more stability in this world. But we do prefer respect to bullies, we do prefer science to plotism, and we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
CJ, I want your thoughts, not just on his message, but his new look.
You know, this is a guy who can't even stand up to his wife, and now he's trying to talk tough on a stage in Davos to President Donald Trump. I don't think that's going to go over too well. But honestly, I feel a little bit bad for him. I think we should actually look into this and maybe get him, like, I don't know, protective custody. I don't know really how that works. The Secret Service over there in France needs to do a little bit of a better job to protect him. But here's the deal. President Trump is not going to be bullied by anyone like Emmanuel Macron by any means. He's going to continue to do all that he can deliver for the American people. If that means, you know, getting tough on some of our partners who need to pull their weight a little bit more, then he will do that. And no amount of bickering or temper tantrums on the international stage will dissuade him from doing that and delivering on the mandate that was given to him by the American people.